All right, so I want us to bring in my colleague, Patrick Amimo, joining us live from Parliament buildings. And of course, like I mentioned, today is the last day for public, for you at home or across the country to give in your views with regard to the Cabinet Secretary nominees by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Patrick, good morning. So we understand that there's that private citizen who has submitted an affidavit. And of course, the Human Rights Commission has also submitted a memorandum. Can you tell us more about this?
Thank you. This time round, we've seen that the Clerk of the National Assembly did instruct those individuals who have any issues against those nominees to file affidavits on those particular individuals. Unlike in the past where people have just been filing memorandum and also maybe coming to give their views before the committees, this time around they went a step further and asked them to submit affidavits. So it's only one affidavit so far that has been brought to the attention of the clerk, whose contents and whatever individual they are touching on will be disclosed tomorrow when the National Assembly's Committee on Appointments starts the vetting process. The vetting is lined up tomorrow where 5 individuals will be vetted. Each individual has been given almost at least 1 hour to appear before the vetting committee. This vetting will be done solely by Jubilee members of Parliament because the opposition National Super Alliance members did not submit their list. And according to the leader of minority in the National Assembly, John Mbadi, they don't recognize the Jubilee administration and President Uhuru Kenyatta. So they say they will not submit their nominees to vet, their members to vet nominees appointed by President Uhuru Kenyatta, neither at the Cabinet Secretary level and or Principal Secretary level. So tomorrow's affair, tomorrow and Friday, where these are the 2 days set aside for the vetting of the Cabinet Secretaries, it will be a Jubilee-only affair. This appointments committee is chaired by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Justin Muturi. So tomorrow, the person who will be appearing first at 9 a.m. will be Professor Margaret Kobia, who formerly was the chairperson of the Public Service Commission, but she's now been promoted to be the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Youth and Gender Affairs. She will be appearing before the committee to determine suitability and or others for that particular job. She will be followed at around 10 by former Turkana Senator John Munyes, who has been nominated to the position of petroleum and mining. Later on, after Munyes, at around midday thereabouts, we expect Dr. Monica Juma, who was the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but she's now been promoted to Cabinet Secretary level. She'll appear before the committee for vetting at noon, and then later on after lunch break at 2 p.m. we'll have Farida Karone, who was until recently the Chief Operating Officer at Royal Media Services. She'll be nominated to that docket of lands, housing and urban development. So she'll appear before the committee at 2 p.m. And the last one to close the day will be former Meru Governor Peter Munya, who's been nominated for the position of the East African Community and Northern Corridor Development. Munya will appear before the committee at 3:30 p.m. So that will close the sessions tomorrow for the 5 Cabinet Secretaries will be interviewed by, will be vetted by that appointments committee for that particular Thursday. Then on Friday, only 4 nominees will appear before the committee, and these will be Keriako Tobiko, former Director of Public Prosecutions, who's been nominated to the position of Environment and Forestry, CS. Then he'll be followed closely at around 10 by Simon Chelugui, who contested the Baringo County Senator position and lost to Gideon Moi. He's been nominated by President Uhuru Kenyatta to contest that position to be appointed CS Water and Sanitation. And then also at around noon, on Friday, we'll have former Marsabit Governor Ukuriatani will appear before the vetting committee. And also then lastly, we'll have former ODM youth leader Rashid Achesa Mohammed, who has been nominated for the position of the CS Sports and Heritage. He'll be the last to appear before the committee at around 2 p.m. on Friday for the vetting process. So we expect the members of the public to submit their memoranda by the close of business. I think by 4:30 at least. If any member of the public out there has any issue to present before those 9 nominees I've mentioned, then you have until at least 4:30 p.m. to be able to beat the deadline, so that the Clerk of the National Assembly, Michael Sialai, has your documents before before him, which will be presented to the committees on tomorrow morning when the vetting process begins. Betty? Right.
Patrick Amimo, they're giving us a comprehensive outlook and update of what really to expect even as the vetting begins tomorrow, and we'll be here to focus on that. Now, we just want to bring you up to speed with the right to public participation for the Kenyan public, and this is a legislation process enshrined in the Constitution and Article 118, Section 1, and it states that Parliament shall conduct its business in an open manner, and its sittings and those of its committees shall be open to the public. Well, it goes on to say in Section 1B of the same article, it states that Parliament shall facilitate public participation and involvement in the legislation and other business of Parliament and its committees. So it says that it's important, and it is indeed enshrined in the Constitution, that the public must, of course, be part and parcel of the processes that take place in Parliament, including this vetting process that is going to be beginning tomorrow. Okay, it continues to say, well, Section 2 of this article prohibits Parliament from excluding the public from any sitting unless it's in exceptional circumstances. So there you have it. Parliament may not exclude the public unless in exceptional circumstances, meaning that the public should be involved throughout the process. And like I mentioned, there's just one private citizen who has already given the an affidavit with regards to the vetting process, their views on the nominees that have been, of course, fronted by President Uhuru Kenyatta. And of course, we have the Kenya Human Rights Commission that has also submitted memoranda with regard to the vetting process. So we'll start, of course, to follow with that tomorrow when the vetting process begins. All right, now we sampled views from different regions, and residents of Kisii had this to say about the issue of public participation. Take a look.
As a Kenyan society, with the Progressive Constitution of Kenya 2010, so many provisions have been put in place. Chief among them is participatory governance. This participatory governance so requires that the public is involved in almost everything that the government does, so that what comes into the table should originate from the people who hold the ultimate sovereignty of this republic. However, as the period for public participation in vetting the public officers that were nominated by the president, that is the cabinet secretaries and the permanent secretaries in various ministries, it's apparent that quite a number of our populace, the masses, may not even be aware of what is happening. One of the reasons is there is not enough publicity in terms of creating awareness for the larger public to understand that they have a responsibility in vetting the public officers who have been nominated to various dockets.
We need civic education from the arms of government that are supposed to do the same, so that we are sensitized as the public, so that we know when it's supposed to be done. And I want to encourage those, the public that is, to come out in large numbers to attend to these forums, so that they can give views on the public servant. Because we know some public servants are corrupt, they don't pass the test of integrity, and we need to talk about them without fear of contradiction. But I know, because of security reasons, some people don't want to bring out information about these public servants because they fear for their lives. And some of us also can say that we don't bring out the information because some of us, we have friends whom we don't want to bar from getting these positions. But I want to say that we need to change our mindset so that we come out and do what is necessary about it.
Ni vizuri ya kwamba sasa sisi tumepata habari na tunatoa maoni kuhusu mchucho ama kuchucha watendakazi wa serikali. Lakini ajabu ni kwamba kwa serikali iliyopo sasa tunaweza toa maoni ndio, lakini maoni haya ya
kuchujwa kumekuwa formality au chakuwa mambo ambayo linalokamilika chambo. Kwa sababu mara nyingi wale rais ameteua hakuna atakayewapinga. So inakuwa ni formality ya kwamba waje wapitishwe, sababu hata rais mwenyewe amewaona ni wazuri.
Aswa kwa siku mingi ambazo zimepita, wananchi vitu mingi huwa tunashtukia hapali atupewe sisi kama wananchi hapali ya kwamba tu participate kwa this public vetting. So ndio tunaomba serikali ipeane wananchi muda wa kutosha ili waangalie au viongozi ambao wekwa katika nyadhifa za uongozi, kwa sababu ni sisi ndio wanahudumia. Sasa unapata sasa leo sasa ndio wao watafanya vetting, watu wakaa huko wapate lunch, wasikize, waangalie waperuse papers. Hata saizi utaweza pata mtu amepewa kazi ni ile kuweka kidole peke yake. So hata tukiangalia even from past history, hata hii wakati tulikuwa tunafanya siasa, president mwenyewe ndiye alitoka kwa ofisi kuenda kufanya campaign instead ya ku reinforce the institutions, kupea IPC pesa ikuje ituelimishe tujue umuhimu. Kuna maofisa mbalimbali ambao wanahusika na hizo na mambo ya public relations and public awareness. They should come out and mobilize the people, tell us about those offices.
Hizi forums inafaa kuweza wananchi. Wananchi have been denied, especially, let's say for example here in Kisii. All of people from Kisii cannot go to Nairobi to participate, but it is through the media, and the media was switched off for the whole week. So according to my view, we were discriminated totally.
Right, so remember that today is the last day that you as a Kenyan citizen can submit your views with regard to the Cabinet Secretary nominees that were fronted by Uhuru Kenyatta, so you still have time until 5 p.m. We now want to head on to Meru County, and let's listen to some views also with regard to public participation.
Mimi nikiwa mwananchi, serikali inapaswa iangazie maneno ingine kama inakuja inachukua maneno kwa watu, lakini sasa kama hatujui mahali tunapaswa kuchukulia hiyo maneno, tutajua namna gani?
Sometimes our views are not taken seriously, so I think that's why the people of Kenya are not really concerned with giving views to the Kenyan government.
Hivyo na ni lazima naye mtu awe qualified yule anaenda kuchaguliwa, na si kuchukua mtu hivi ambaye ajui ile kazi anaenda kufanya, ambaye atakuja kutatizika hapo mbeleni. Ile kazi unaenda kufanya ije kuletea shida. Tuseme kama huyu wa michezo ana hiyo experience na ni subboard ambaye ametolewa mahali ambao tujui. Kwa hivyo katika kazi ya michezo atakuja kuleta shida, maana itakuwa vigumu kwake na hatajua kile anaenda kufanya pale.